The rope hit the snow before anyone spoke. It landed at Margaret Hale's feet with a dull, final sound, like a decision already made. No trial, no prayer, just a town standing back to see whether she would freeze, beg, or break. "Get her out before nightfall," someone muttered. Winter wind cut through the street, sharp enough to steal breath. Margaret tightened her grip on the small trunk beside her. Everything she owned was inside it, everything she had left. She looked around, searching faces she once greeted, faces she once trusted. Doors began to shut, one, then another, then another. Red Hollow wasn't driving her away. It was erasing her. 6 months earlier, her husband had kissed her forehead and mounted his horse. "Just work," he promised. "I'll send for you." She believed him because belief was cheaper than fear. Winter proved her wrong. The letters stopped. The money never came. And when food grew scarce, compassion followed it into the ground. "You're a widow in everything but name," the town elders told her. "We can't afford another mouth." Margaret begged, quietly at first, then desperately, then not at all. By morning, she was told to leave. Now the storm was coming fast, swallowing the road behind her. Margaret bent, lifted her trunk, and began to walk. A horse cut through the snowfall and stopped sharply in front of her. "You won't make it past the ridge," the rider said. His voice was flat, not cruel, not kind. Margaret didn't stop walking. "I'm not staying." The man studied her like a problem with no good answer. "What can you do?" he asked. She hesitated. "I can work. Everyone can work. I can learn," she said quickly. "I won't be useless." Silence stretched between them. "My name's Elias Crow," he said at last. "I've got land west of here. Half a house. 2 girls. Margaret's throat tightened. "You want a wife?" "No," Elias snapped. "I want someone who won't die on my doorstep." The wind howled, as if answering for her. "I'll come," Margaret said. The house was colder than the storm. No curtains, no warmth, just bare wood and shadows pressed into corners. 2 girls watched her from near the stove. They didn't smile. They didn't move. Elias set the trunk down. "This is Margaret." The older girl crossed her arms. "Is she staying?" "For now," Elias replied. "For now." The words settled into Margaret's chest like a warning. The days were relentless. Margaret burned meals, split her hands chopping wood, dropped plates until the girls flinched whenever she moved. "Stop touching our things," the younger girl snapped. "I'm sorry," Margaret said. Again and again. Elias never raised his voice, never corrected her, never helped. That silence was heavier than anger. At night, Margaret lay awake listening to the wind claw at the walls, wondering how long For Now would last. One evening, she overheard whispers from the loft. "She won't stay," the older girl said. "They never do," the younger replied. Margaret pressed her hand over her mouth so they wouldn't hear her cry. If this story already has you tense, pause for 1 second and like the video. It tells the algorithm this story is worth finishing and you'll want to stay. The fever came without warning. The younger girl collapsed at the table, spoon clattering to the floor. "She won't wake up," the older girl screamed. Elias froze. Margaret didn't. "Boil water," she ordered. "Now!" "You don't know what you're doing," Elias snapped. "I know she's dying," Margaret shot back. "Move!" That night, Margaret didn't sit. She knelt, held the child's burning body, cooled her skin, whispered when the girl's breathing faltered. Elias paced like a man trapped inside his own fear. "She can't die," he whispered. "Not another one." At dawn, the child's breathing steadied. The house exhaled. The older girl approached Margaret carefully. "You stayed," she said. Margaret nodded. "I stayed." Something shifted, small, fragile, real. Spring didn't bring peace. It brought fire. Smoke rose over the ridge faster than fear could travel. "Get the girls!" Elias shouted. The barn ignited. A beam collapsed. Elias screamed. Margaret ran. The heat blistered her skin. Smoke tore her throat raw. She dragged Elias free with burned hands and stubborn will. They collapsed in the snow together. Alive. That night, Elias sat across from her, eyes hollow. "I was wrong," he said quietly. Margaret said nothing. She didn't need to. Just when she believed she had earned her place, Red Hollow returned. Men arrived with papers, mining plans, polite smiles. "We need the land," they said. Elias refused, so they turned to Margaret. "She's bad luck," someone muttered. Fire, fever, failed crops. A rope appeared again. Elias stepped in front of her. "She stays." Margaret stepped forward anyway. "I was discarded," she said, voice shaking but clear. "But I stayed. I worked. I chose this place when it didn't choose me." The crowd shifted. Shame crept in where certainty had lived. They left, but not before fear followed them out. If you're still watching, comment, "She stayed" below. Because this next part is where everything finally breaks, or holds. The crops failed again. Hunger crept back like a debt. Margaret sold her wedding ring for seed. One plant survived. One. When it bore fruit, Elias split it 4 ways. "Stay," he said. "Not because you have to. Because I want you here." Margaret met his eyes. "I'm not leaving," she said. And for the first time, Red Hollow didn't decide her fate. She did. The morning after the rope, the mountain was too quiet. Snow lay untouched. Smoke rose thinly from chimneys. It felt as though the town itself was waiting to see what would happen next, whether Margaret would disappear on her own, or whether they would need to finish what they started. Margaret was awake before dawn. Her hands were blistered from the fire. Her shoulders ached from carrying weight that hadn't been hers to bear. Still, she moved carefully through the house, stirring what little food remained, straightening things that didn't need fixing. Not because it mattered, but because staying required intention. The girl sat near the stove, watching her. Finally, Clara spoke. "Is it true?" Margaret turned. "Is what true?" "That they brought a rope." June's fingers tightened around her cup. "Were they going to hurt you?" Margaret knelt in front of them. She didn't soften the truth. "Yes," she said gently. "They were." June's eyes filled instantly. "Because of you?" "No," Margaret said firmly. "Because people are afraid, and fear makes them cruel." Clara swallowed. "So you could have died." Margaret nodded once. "But I didn't." June rushed forward and wrapped her arms around Margaret's waist. "Don't leave," she whispered. "Please." Margaret held her tightly. "I'm still here." From the doorway, Elias watched. And for the first time since Margaret arrived, he looked afraid, not of losing land, but of losing her. Hunger returned without ceremony, not as panic, as arithmetic. Less flour, thinner soup, smaller portions carefully divided. One evening, Clara pushed her bowl away. "I'm not hungry," she said. Elias looked up sharply. "Eat." She shook her head. "June needs it more." June protested. "Clara." Elias slammed his hand on the table. "Don't," he snapped. "Don't you start sacrificing yourself like your mother did." The room froze. Clara stood, her chair scraping the floor. "Don't talk about her like that." Elias's voice broke open. "You think she wanted to leave you? You think I wanted to bury her while you screamed and pulled at my coat?" Silence swallowed the house. Margaret stepped between them before the words could become wounds. "Elias," she said quietly. He turned to her, eyes raw. "What if I can't protect them?" he asked. "What if I fail them too?" Margaret didn't raise her voice. "Then we don't fight tomorrow tonight," she said. "Tonight we eat. Tomorrow we will try again." Elias exhaled like a man releasing years of breath. "Eat," he said again, softer. They did. If you're still watching right now, hit like. Stories like this live, or die by watch time. And this one isn't done yet. The men returned 3 days later. Not minors. Respectable men. Churchmen. Men who spoke softly and carried cruelty in their pockets. They stood at the edge of a land, calm and certain. "You've been warned," one said. "This doesn't have to get ugly." Elias stepped onto the porch, shotgun resting against his shoulder. "I'm not selling," he said. The men's attention shifted to the doorway behind him. To her, one muttered, "She's the problem." Margaret stepped outside. Her voice was steady. "Say it to my face." A man sneered. "Everywhere you go, bad things follow." Margaret nodded once. "Bad things followed me long before I came here." "You don't belong," another said. Margaret stepped forward, boots crunching in the snow. "You want to know what I learned?" she said. "People blame women like me, so they don't have to admit life is cruel all by itself. A hand gestured toward the field. Fire, fever, failed crops. That's survival, Margaret shot back. And you wouldn't last a week doing it. The men stiffened. Elias lifted the shotgun. Leave, he said. Now. They hesitated, then backed away. But one of them threw a final warning over his shoulder. This isn't over. That night, Elias didn't sleep. He sat by the fire, staring into the coals. Margaret joined him quietly. You didn't have to stand in front of me, she said. Yes, Elias replied. I did. I could leave, Margaret said. End this. Elias turned sharply. Don't. He stood, pacing once before stopping in front of her. You flinch when voices rise, he said. You brace like the ground might disappear. Margaret didn't deny it. You stayed, Elias continued. When everyone else leaves. Margaret looked up. I stayed because I chose to. Elias reached for her carefully. I choose you, he said. Every day. The kiss wasn't desperate. It was earned. The girls saw them together the next morning. June ran forward. Does this mean you're really our ma? Margaret knelt. If you want me to be. June nodded fiercely. We already do. Clara hesitated, then said quietly, please stay. I will, Margaret promised. The single plant in the field finally bore fruit. Small, crooked, alive. Elias divided it into 4 equal pieces. We share, he said. They ate slowly, reverently. Outside, the wind still screamed. But the house stood firm. Years passed, not in speeches but in moments. Clara grew strong. June laughed easily again. The land healed inch by inch. The town never fully welcomed Margaret, but it stopped trying to destroy her. When illness finally came, Elias held her hand. Don't leave, he whispered. Margaret smiled faintly. You're not alone anymore. When she died, Elias buried her where the fire once burned. He carved the marker himself. She made this place breathe. Years later, Elias was laid beside her. The house remained, scarred, standing alive. Because the mountain never forgot the woman who stayed when the world tried to erase her. If this story moved you, subscribe for more like it. Like the video so others can find it. And comment below, what would you have done if an entire town turned on you? I'll see you in the next story.